Hey everybody, what's up? It's Nick here, and in today's video we're going to be doing something that's kind of a little different. This isn't going to be really much of a tutorial as much as it is going to be just me explaining a concept that I tried to do and that I tried to pull off and just trying to decide whether or not it was successful. So I've been taking a couple college courses recently on photography, if you guys may or may not know. I don't know if I've mentioned it before, but I've been taking a couple courses in photography hoping to get my degree, and lately I've been taking a lot of classes that have involved shooting on 35mm film as opposed to digital. Now, most of the stuff that I've talked about before in previous videos have involved just strictly digital photography with digital cameras. And so what I was thinking was I've been shooting all of these pictures on 35mm film, and I have no way to digitize them into the computer so that I can post images of them to my social media profiles and my portfolio that look professional enough to post, because what I've been doing is I've just been taking pictures of the actual piece of paper with my phone and uploading them to Instagram, and that honestly doesn't look that good. So I'm kind of a poor college student. I don't have enough money to buy my own scanner, and unfortunately I don't have access to a scanner of any kind at the moment, so I wanted to see if there was a way that I could take my my physical hard copy paper prints of all of my film images and import them into the computer so that I could, post them across the web on various different websites and whatnot. So I think I found a temporary solution. So essentially what I did was I set up some lights and I taped the images to a white background, and I shot a picture of my film print with my digital camera. And this is the final product that I came up with right now. So here's one of them. Here's another one that I just tested out. Here's another one right here. And here is the final one that I wanted to show. So a couple of these look better than the other ones. As you can see, this one looks really nice and clean, and it actually looks like a professional digital image, whereas this one looks kind of dusty and dirty and it needs a little bit more attention to it. But anyway, I did end up liking the results that I came up with right here. I'm actually quite pleased with this image right here. And so I wanted to basically just talk with you guys about how I did it and how I got to the way it is right now. So these images, as again, were shot on a film camera. This particular image that I'm going to be using as an example was shot on T-Max 100 film on a Pentax K1000 and was printed out on your standard Ilford Pearl 8x10 paper. I was taking a basic class at the time, so this is like the beginner level stuff right here. And so basically what I did was I mounted it up on a little board, and I took a picture of it with my Canon T3i, and I basically took this image and manipulated it to look like this right here. And I'm going to show you essentially the ins and out of what I did. So the first thing I did was take the original image in my Lightroom, and I right-clicked on it, and I opened it up in Photoshop, actually. And the first thing that I was concerned with was actually getting the perspective to look right, because as you can see, once it loads up, the way that I shot it, the perspective is kind of off, and cropping this would be a complete disaster. So if you guys aren't familiar with this, or I haven't mentioned it before, we're going to be using the perspective crop tool, which is exactly for what it sounds like, for fixing perspective. So I'm going to click it out and drag it, and then I'm going to take the corners and drag them out over here, and I'm essentially going to fix it until the perspective looks right. And then I'm going to click enter. As you can see, it looks a lot better. Now, of course, you're going to need to tweak it a little bit more, finagle with it until it looks perfect, but essentially that's where I started out, and that's what I did. Now, on the other images, let me just get back to Lightroom, such as this one, I had a bunch of problems with some of the stuff that I shot, so I did take them into Photoshop, and in addition to using the perspective crop tool, I did dodge and burn a little bit, which helped solve some of the problems that I made in the darkroom. But that was just me, not importing them well and being my first time doing this. So anyway, once I used the perspective crop tool to straighten them out, I brought them back into Lightroom and essentially did my little tweaks over here to make the image that I took on my digital camera look as close to the original film print as possible. So I adjusted the exposure, contrast, highlights, all that good stuff. This one in particular needed a bit of sharpening because of some error that I did while shooting. And of course, I made sure to convert them to black and white. Because the original prints themselves were black and white, and I shot the digital image in color, it didn't make sense to upload a color version of it, so I made sure to keep it to black and white to keep it as true to the original print as possible. But essentially, that's what I did with a little bit more tweaking involved. And I was able to come up with this one, this one, this one, and this one. And overall, for a first attempt, I'm quite happy with these images right here. And I think that what I did actually came out looking well for a little, what I like to call ghetto scanning attempt. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and share my thoughts on it, and maybe if you guys wanted to give your thoughts, leave them in the comment section below. But essentially, that's basically all I wanted to talk about. If you guys are interested in a tutorial on how I actually shot these videos more in depth, like where I put the lights, where I put the camera and whatnot, if you guys are interested, leave me a comment down below and I'll try to get to that within the next couple of weeks. But anyway, that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.